Welcome to Tokyo Alpha, the show where we talk about the Japanese NFT market. My name is Tony, and that's what I do. I talk about Japanese NFTs. I tweet about Japanese NFTs in English and in Japanese. And we do this show every week. So make sure to follow us at Tokyo Alpha HQ if you want it. And also, you can just subscribe to the podcast as well, which I upload afterwards. My co-host today is back after a little bit of a break. He was busy with many other things like traveling and all that. His name is Crypto. Hey, Crypto.
Hello, hello. Glad to be back.
Hey. Good to be talking to you. So Crypto is the one of the co-founders of the Japanese NFT community Spam DAO. But he's also the project lead for a upcoming NFT project called Zielchain. Whenever Crypto is on the show, I like to ask him about that because the art is by the very well known artist Amano Yoshitaka. People probably know him from Final Fantasy and a lot of the stuff that he's done for many decades now. But so first of all, where are you now, Crypto?
I am back in Japan. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Because you were like where were you? You were like in Philippines, and I think you went to like Singapore or something. Like where were you?
Yeah. For this trip, I went to Singapore and the Philippines. I needed to
Oh,
meet my friends.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. But now you're back in Tokyo.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. For the AMA, I had to fly back because it was like an in-person AMA with Mr. Amano.
Oh, really?
Mm. Yeah.
So that was like a few days ago, right? The AMA.
Yeah. It was amazing AMA and nerve-wracking at the same time. Like imagine like a legendary artist is sitting across the table, right
Uh
right in front of you. And, oh man, yeah, it was just crazy experience for me.
So it was a Twitter space, but you were in person with Amano-san, like right in front of you, and you guys were both talking into the same phone, I guess.
Yeah. We have an office in the Nihon Television, and we booked one of the meeting room, the big meeting room for this AMA,
Hmm.
and we set up the whole
Hmm.
whole room for Mr. Amano, and whew, it was crazy.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, how did it go? Can you tell us any new information? Like, what's up with the project? How's it going?
Yeah. The MA was okay. Like we had the technical difficulty, but
Uh
other than that, like everything was cool. Like it was just
huh.
so hard for me to translate whenever he talked about the art.
Hmm.
Yeah, because yeah, his expression is so abstract, right? Like it's really hard for me to
Yeah.
hard for me to translate, and my mind is going like 100 mile per hour. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah, like when I was speaking with his manager, Mrs. Suzuki, man,
Uh
I couldn't feel my tongue.
huh.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have to translate, then you're keeping an eye on the space and you're thinking about, moving it forward and blah, 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 like all these things. And on top of that, you have to try to translate like art, from this, older artist who's probably speaking, in a little bit difficult language to translate in the first place.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Huh.
I survived. I survived.
Yeah, you survived. First AMA, it only gets easier, I think.
Uh, yeah,
All
like
right, but I guess you guys will do more.
more is coming for sure. I don't know if it's gonna be like English and Japanese AMA or just AMA only. I mean Japanese only.
Hmm.
Or we're just thinking about what would be the um best option. Like yeah,
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because when you do the translation, it really slows it down, and then people start to get bored, and
yeah,
you know it, it's really slow pace, and so if you're like, because it's like double translation, right? It's like you're translating from both sides.
yeah.
At least if it's only like English, you're only focusing on translating to English.
Yes, that
So
was the key. That was the key. Like if I translate everything Bulkett was talking about, like English to Japanese,
mhm, Yeah.
that would have been like chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like it cuts down on the time for actual questions and actual talking because you have to split more translation time, and it just gets kind of I generally don't like those AMAs too
Yeah,
much,
me neither.
but
Yeah.
I understand why people do it. It's kind of there's no way around it. Sometimes you have to do it, but it's just nicer when it's one way translation because it's at least it's a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 So
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was a blast. Like,
yeah.
other than me being, super nervous, I couldn't sleep for like a few days before prior, and I slept
Uh-huh.
like 15 hours after that AMA.
Well, you got through it. You got through it. So
And
yeah. So if anybody's curious, check out at Zielchain. That's Zielchain on Twitter.
yeah,
So yeah, and the Discord is open, right?
Discord just closed. It was open for like
Ooh.
24 hours. Yeah, we got plenty people.
Oh,
We
nice.
got plenty people in that server.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, I did get in, so I'm in there, but I haven't been checking too much. Just busy with so many things, but looking forward to seeing how the progress is going to continue to grow. So
Mm.
that's great. That's great. So let's see. Have you had time to buy anything, or have you just been too busy?
I've been buying like a Paji Pass and all that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, just to participate, with the some sentiment in Japan.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it didn't end well. Like, I kind of messed up with the premium registration. Like, yeah, so I couldn't burn what I had. I had like a 9 Paji Pass, and I couldn't like use it all. Like, and yeah, I
Oh.
tried to reach out to the Paji on the Twitter, but I guess he was too busy, like, with the
Yeah.
shitty customer service, to be honest. But yeah, but I understand, like, he might be busy.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
just for fun anyway. Just kill the fun, like, for me.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, just for anybody that's not aware, Pudgy is a well-known Japanese, builder in the space. You could call him an influencer, but he's put out multiple projects. We've talked about, for example, P Nouns. That was a project that he released in the past couple months, and he's been involved with Japanese NFTs for more than a year now. He was pretty early on, and then when Ikehaya Pass came out
Mm.
like a week and a half
Mhm.
ago, then a bunch of other people put out their own passes, and Pudgy was one of the people that put out one of the passes, Pudgy Pass. I mean, it minted out. It didn't get all the attention that Ikehaya did because, of course, Ikehaya is Ikehaya. But yeah, I mean, he's got loyal supporters and all that. So I'm sure they had fun with it if they got to burn it. I don't know what the hell do you get when you burn it.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you know what you were supposed to get?
yeah, like the 3 items. Like, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's whatever now.
Yeah, I know. You stopped paying attention. Yeah, I don't know. Like the Pudgy one. I mean, like I saw it, but then I saw like it didn't seem to get much attention from the market in general.
Mm.
Uh, but I mean that's how it is. Yeah, it's always like the first one that starts the trend that does the best. Um, anyway, yeah. So I bought a bunch of art stuff.
Mm.
Nothing really to talk about from the art stuff, but so yeah, last week I talked about how I bought like 8 Ikehaya passes. I sold 7 of them,
Mm.
and so I had one, and then I bought one more like yesterday or the day
Mm.
before, back at like 0.108. Right now it's at like 0.09. So I just bought one more, so I have two. Ikehaya was talking about how he thought the floor was going to go to zero point 0.1, so maybe people should wait. And this was back when the floor was like 0.3.
Mm.
And currently he's totally correct. And so I'm thinking he might announce the burn details soon, and so maybe that might get people the Japanese side interested again. And maybe it'll go up, but whatever. I mean, I have two, and if I sold both right now, I guess I make a small loss, but I'm pretty much even. So, but I already made a nice gain on the other 7 that I sold. So, no big deal. But yeah, bought one of those. And that's, oh yeah. And then I bought, well, I got into 666 project because I did have whitelist for that. So 666 project, we talked about it in the past, but it's the project by the Japanese and one artist, Six Maker. That came out like on the 6th Japan time. It did very well for a pure art kind of project by an artist. I think it has like 20 ETH in traded volume, which is honestly more than some generative projects that come out from Japan, or even hell in the world. Sometimes some get like almost no. Um, so yeah, this is a 666 art project. So the floor went up to like 0.13 or something like that, 0.1, close to 0.15, I think. So it's calmed down. It's like around the 0.08, and the mint price was 0.033. So it's it's over double, and I don't plan to sell mine. I'm happy holding. I have a bunch of his other art, his stuff.
Yeah.
Usually, his holders don't sell, basically.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive, to be honest. Like he is like Web3 native artist, right? It's really hard
Yep.
for like 101 and Web3 artist creator to release generative PFP. I think he's like one of the first few people who has done it. There's only like 3 or 4 people who has done it in the space in Japan, I think.
Yeah. So so the interesting thing about this project is it's not a generative, right? It's very, yeah, it's not. It's a unique like concept where he created 52 I think it's 50 or 52 one of ones specifically for this collection, and then on every like 6th of the month, or like the 26th, or like the 16th, every day that ends in a 6, like the picture randomly changes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, right? So like if you look at the collection right now, everything is like random. It's like each NFT just randomly changes. So like you can scroll around and see all of the specific one of ones that he did for this. So this is separate from his main collection. But if you have 5, then you can burn it and you can claim one of the one of ones, or you can reserve one of his other one of ones that he's still drawing for his main collection, and it will go to the main collection. So it's interesting in that instead of a separate collection that just is independent, you can buy 5 and it will take you back to his main collection that people, that's the one that people want.
I see. That's interesting, actually. And I
yeah, it's unique and it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't want to do the same thing that everybody else was doing, and I think that was a fun idea, and his supporters liked it. I liked it. So yeah. So I have one, and I don't plan to sell that one anytime soon.
Okay.
And yeah, and I do have his one of ones and stuff. So yeah, just holding. That's just art. That's not really a short-term trade or anything. What else? I did. Oh, I bought one more of those Kido. I mentioned it last week, and you have one of those Kido ones, KIDOU. I bought one more of those, so I have like 5 or 6 of those. I like the artist. I like what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. I'm kind of friends with him, so I like him.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So that's basically it for what I bought. And then so let's talk about what's been going on. So I guess one of the main things that happened in the past week was Kiyoshi's seed. That's been the thing that many people have been paying attention to. So that is the next free mint that Ikehaya announced after he released Ikehaya Pass. And just for anybody that doesn't know, Ikehaya is kind of like the main, most well-known Japanese, person in the NFT space. He's the founder of Crypto Ninja and the marketing person for Crypto Ninja partners. But he's got his hands in like 50% of the Japanese market, at least sometimes, depending on the volume. He's involved with so many projects. And then so Kiyoshi seeds. I mean, it was the 25,000 free mint, and it minted out, and the floor went up to like a little bit over 0.1, but now the floor is like around 0.05, 0.06. And it's just kind of staying there. I don't know. I think it's just like, in my opinion, like it's just Ikehaya is a trend to himself for the Japanese, for the non-Japanese traders, right? They go, oh, okay, he put out a free mint. That was a surprise. It did really well. Kiyoshi, bigger supply, next in the trend. So like, okay, we're done. We traded. Let's get out. And they just kind of move on. Maybe it goes back up, but I don't know. I don't see this Kiyoshi thing getting the same amount of attention from the non-Japanese crowd that Ikehaya did, the past did. Yeah. So. And also this one just seems more like just like a fun meme kind of thing, where Ikehaya Pass is going to turn into an art thing, like the memes by Punk 6529. So Ikehaya Pass is a long term thing, whereas Kiyoshi Seed seems at the moment like a short term thing.
Yeah, Ikehaya is like turning himself into his own brand. Like I feel like he's leaving CNP.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, because I think I was watching last week how the floor was going down on CMP, and it seemed to be non-Japanese sellers mainly. Like even quite a few people that had minted that appeared to be non-Japanese wallets. And so it seems like, and then I talked to a couple people, it seems like they were kind of upset about Ikehaya's focus on this other stuff, on the free mint and the Ikehaya Pass, and they weren't getting whitelist. And of course, you know how traders are. They'll, the second something, kind of negative happens, they like, well, immediately they sell everything. And so, it seems like some of them were kind of fed up. And then yesterday or the day before, like Ikehaya was, I mean, he only tweets in English these days. He's really, really trying to target the global market. And he was just tweeting like 4 times in a day or something about CMP. And then one tweet was about how he's such a hardworking founder. And he's there making content every day. And I'm like, okay, guy, like, dude, you're really trying. Like, calm down.
He's a founder for CNP or what?
They always say that he's not the founder for CNP, but he was talking about how he is such a hardworking founder. So I'm not sure. I guess he's talking about Crypto Ninja, the original collection, because as far as I know, that's the only collection that he's technically the founder for. Everything else, he's the marketing guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but he's tweeting, and he's really shilling the CMP and trying to get the non-Japanese money, because I think in Japan the money has kind of slowed. Some people have left the market. The people that have the money probably already got into CMP, and then it's like, who else is going to buy a 2 ETH NFT?
Yeah,
right?
higher the floor.
Not that many people.
Harder to get in, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no like
higher, right?
Yeah, the expectation gets higher and higher, and there's less people that can buy in, and there's no people like Dingaling and these big whale wallets, Keyboard Monkey, like in the global market. There aren't people like that in Japan that will buy all of a sudden 50 CMPs.
Yeah, Dingaling just swept the DenDekaDen, and that's blew my mind.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, like
that was ridiculous.
2 ETH floor to 5 ETH floor, like in one sweep.
Yeah. I mean, but it's a small collection, right? It's only like 700, I think.
And he has his own followers too. Like his followers follow his wallet, and like they just follow whatever he's doing. It's like he's like a huge wallet, bro.
Absolutely. I mean, if Dingaling bought 50 CMPs, the floor would probably go to 5 ETH as well, because the floor is thin. So it would fly. But then who the hell in Japan would be buying 5 ETH CMPs? Like, there's no liquidity.
I mean, there's no liquidity and there's no return.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll get back to DenDekaDen in a moment, because I do want to talk about that. But I just wanted to finish off by saying, like, the thing about CMP is I think it just went up too hard, too fast. Like, it went over 3 ETH, and it needs to calm down. It needs to maybe even go down a little bit more, because there's just not that many Japanese people that can get in. And then it's like, okay, so what? Like, it's just the same people in there, and that's that. It's a bunch of whales, and I don't know. Like, it seems like it needed a little more time to grow a bit more and get more people in, because right now there's only like 5,000 people into 22,000 collection. How do you keep it growing from there? I don't know. And that's why that's part of the reason why Ikehaya is targeting the global market, because he needs the liquidity to keep things up, Live Like a Cat and all those. And now he's got more projects coming out, Crypto Ninja World and the Mafia Animals, all deeply connected to Ikehaya. So that's more and more money to suck out from the Japanese side. And unless they get global money, it's like people are going to run out of money. So yeah, he's switching his strategy because he wasn't interested in the global market, but now he's trying hard and he's spending money and he's trying to get as many people as possible. But I think the global market is getting a little bit tired of him, because I'm not seeing the same amount of interest as I did like when Ikehaya Pass came out. But that's how it is, right? They all get tired in like a few days and it's like, okay, next trend. That's just how it is.
Well, I think we will be okay until TMA comes out, but
definitely
I'm not sure about his like following collections like Ho-Oh, because there will be more big company, a big Web 2 company coming into Web 3 in March and April, and I don't know if they can keep up with them. Like, can you compete with Sony? Can you compete with Toei?
Yeah,
they got big IP for and they got they're well established. So we
exactly.
Need to
okay, so
the strategy, right?
Exactly. So DenDekaDen, let's get into DenDekaDen, because you brought up Toei, and this is exactly what's happening. So up until now, so in the past, I don't know, like 3, 4, 5 months, basically if Ikehaya touched something, it was gold and it would go to, the floor would go up and everybody, his people in his, alpha community would buy it up, sweep the floor, it would go up, up, up. And he has, like 50% of the market share, if not more. I'm just roughly estimating on any given day. It's like most of the big projects selling are Ikehaya connected in some way. But we have this sudden project that came out, in basically on New Year's, DenDekaDen. And their strategy was just excellent. Like they did such a good job, like with everything, the release of information, the building the partnerships. They did such a good job. Just the timing on their information releases. It's all been really, really good. Now the interesting thing here is this is not a like a so yesterday I was in a space with Neko Alliance, and the creator of DenDekaDen was on the space. His name, he goes by OX Salary. I don't know if he's doxed, if we know his actual name. I have no idea. But so he's the creator, and he's part of this. I guess it's a company called Strata, which is like a creative studio. And he was explaining that they were trying to do something with Toei from like 2 years ago. So they proposed to do a project like an NFT Web3 thing with Toei like 2 years ago. But I guess Toei like rejected them and they weren't interested at the moment. And of course, 2 years ago was still very early, and Japan was barely even like doing anything with NFTs, especially like the companies, maybe like one artists and, a few. But yeah, so Toei rejected them at the time. And then somehow, I guess they tried again, and then Toei was interested. According to OX Salary, Toei did a project with somebody else. They did another NFT project, and it did not go well. I don't know the name of the project. He did not say. I do know that Toei connected properties have come out as NFTs. Like, for example, I remember there was a One Piece NFT drop that came out like, I don't know, like a year and a half ago, and then nobody remembers it. I think it was on like Binance Chain or something. It was some I don't know, nothing that anybody remembers. And so I'm not sure what project he was talking about, but apparently Toei, it did not go well. So then DenDekaDen, the official language is that they are a joint venture. So I guess between Strata and Toei, they're a joint venture. When I asked him, like, what does this mean? Is Toei like funding this? Like, what exactly does this partnership mean? Basically, he said, like, I can't say anything for legal reasons. Like, he can't talk about anything. So all he can say is that it's a joint venture. So when you look at, what this what it seems to be, like, because they didn't make that much money from the mint. It was a optional pay mint. So some people minted for free. If you wanted to pay something, you paid, and that influenced the rarity of what you got. So they didn't make that much money from it. And the secondary, I think they've only done like 500 ETH or something like that, 500, 600 ETH. So they didn't make that much money from that. So to me, it seems like Toei, basically, they were interested in doing something in Web3, but they didn't want to do it by themselves because that takes on the risk. And we've seen that when Web2 companies do it by themselves, often it doesn't go well because they don't understand the Web3 culture. So then this was a good opportunity for them to work together. And then Toei takes off some of the risk. And then if the project goes well, then maybe, this is my speculation here, then maybe that's when Toei feels comfortable to say, okay, we can fund this in a public way to grow it. And then maybe they can build off that IP. And the dream scenario is that Toei makes this into an anime and, it gets broadcast on TV, blah, blah, blah. But Toei doesn't want to take on the risk of building this by themselves. So basically they're putting it onto the company that has the experience with building something in Web3. That's kind of my pure speculation, but given all the information that we know, seems like that might be the likely thing that is going on here.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but that is, I mean, it's exactly what you're saying. So, if what you said earlier, where like if these big companies with the funding and the ability to actually turn this into something bigger come into the space and they're able to make good partnerships with people that are able to, build something in Web3, then I think it's certainly possible that we can get, a property that is built in Web3, make it into something bigger in the Web2, in the real world.
Absolutely.
Right? That's possible.
Absolutely. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, you hit the spot just now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's the realistic scenario, because they want to make, Toei wants to make money. They're not doing this for charity, right? But they don't want to take on the risk.
Yeah.
Right? Because they understand, like, this is a weird little niche and all that. They've seen the experience. They had the experience where a project did not go well. So they don't want to say, Toei, we're doing this by ourselves. No, they're going to let the experts do the thing. And then they can have the headlines, right? They can say, oh my God, look, look, DenDekaDen, our project has done millions of dollars in sales. Look, and we're going to turn this into an anime. Like, they want that first. They want the numbers. They want the big numbers that they can use then to market to the general public. And in Japan, there's less of a stigma, there's less of a negative image towards NFTs, because most people just don't even know what the hell NFTs are. So, the average person is just going to see, oh my God, this thing made a bunch of money. Like, I guess this must be something, so maybe I should pay attention. So it's totally possible. And this is a new way that projects in Japan can get started. Web2 companies coming in, partnering with Web3 native kind of companies, instead of what we've been seeing up until now, where it's like starting from zero, doing nothing, and maybe trying to get a partnership with Ikehaya-san so that you can maybe grow into something, but your funding is almost nothing because you only made like $10,000 on the primary mint. So that is not impossible, but a very, very difficult thing to do. But if Toei can, fund this and turn it into something bigger, I think that's possible. But, of course, the thing is, this is all a big experiment. We don't know what's going to happen, but, that more and more companies are going to be coming into the space, and they're not going to be doing things the normal way. Like this DenDekaDen, like part of the reason for the success is because they were able to reach the global market. Like, they actually had a product that the global market was interested in. Their marketing strategy worked. They got a whale like Dingaling to buy in. And so
that blew my mind.
Yeah, right. So and why did that work? Because I think they were able to get in good with a lot of Azuki people. They were able to get in good with these people in the global market, and then these people talk to Dingaling. They talk to those big whales, right? And so they say like, okay, buy it. And then once Dingaling buys in, that's like, oh, okay, I guess this is a good thing. So I guess, we should pay attention to this, right? So in a way, it was organic, but all of this is money. I mean, let's be totally honest here. It's like there's an opportunity to make money. Dingaling would not buy 50 or whatever how many he bought if he didn't think there was a money making there was no money making opportunity there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it just goes hand by what's the word? Hand by hand? No.
Hand by hand, like hand in hand, I guess.
Hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it cannot be just for the love of NFT. It's always like mixed with the financial incentives, right?
Yep.
It's sad. It's sad,
Yep.
but it's true.
It is, and so that is one thing that does worry me a little bit about some of these projects. Well, like DenDekaDen, I'm not saying that it won't succeed. I like what they're doing. I think their Web3 marketing and all this, their community building has been excellent. Like I praised him yesterday, and I'll say it again. But the thing is, here's the thing though, Web3 marketing and building community in Web3 does not mean that you can create a successful anime that will appeal to the general public.
Yeah, like what's the chance of making
that's two different things.
Naruto or next Bleach?
Yeah,
next Death Note.
That's almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, what's the chance? Like one person, one company, like have a one shot to make the best anime ever. And I said, what's the chance? Like we seen all the shitty anime on the internet every day.
I mean, like, every day. Yeah. I mean, most anime is not like wow amazing. Most anime is just like okay, whatever. It's another show. Like that's the honest
truth. It's like one in 10,000 or one in maybe 100,000 would just be like accepted by a general public. To be honest.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea of like them trying to build the IP in Web3 because there's so much less restrictions to make moves, and it's really close to our vision. Like our vision is to co-create the IP with the community.
Definitely.
Right? Like we are basically very close, and the vision is very close to Zielchain, basically.
Right. Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing when I was thinking about this. So, yeah. So the point is, just because Toei is there, it doesn't mean that it will become this global anime thing. But there is much more potential for, Toei wants this to become a successful thing.
Yes.
So,
yes. Yeah, even with the backing of that,
they
Toei,
will.
Yeah, it's like people are like feeling bullish, right? Like, hey. Toei is like retweeting the tweet from One Piece. Toei is retweeting tweet from Dragon Ball. Okay, that's cool. I know you're involved in all that, but what's the chance of actual collaboration? You know how much it costs to do the collaboration?
Right. Yeah.
If you,
but I mean, but the thing is, like, this in a way, this Web3 thing is so low risk for Toei. I mean, yes, if it goes horribly, then it looks bad on Toei, whatever. It looks bad on the team. But in terms of financial thing, like imagine trying to develop an anime to broadcast, from scratch. That's millions and millions and millions of dollars. But put out a PFP collection, you pay, the marketing team, you build a community on Discord. That's cheap. Compared to, okay, we're going to make an anime,
Yeah.
And then, so I'm just saying, like, it doesn't mean that it will become the next, Dragon Ball, whatever. But, it is good to have that company that says, like, okay, if this project is a success, now we feel comfortable investing in this because now we have, a base, we have, like a proof of concept that we can actually do something with this. And then they feel more comfortable actually investing money, after they've seen that it's a success.
Yes.
Within Web3, right?
Yes, even if the DenDekaDen, I mean, the animation they put out won't succeed, they can work as a platform, like a launch pad for the upcoming future, like Web3 native artists, and they can start from there. They got the backing from the Toei. That's awesome,
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. They this whole thing is a big experiment, and I'm sure they will continue to experiment. And like you said earlier, like if Sony gets in and they're able to make something similar where they're able to partner with the right people that can help them build something, or like yourself, like you're helping, build out Zielchain. Uh, I think this is a new way that can kind of bypass,
Yeah.
this whole like Ikehaya monopoly that has happened in Japan. Because DenDekaDen did not do a partnership with Ikehaya because there was no point. They didn't have to. They knew that they could target the global market. They had the right people, the English speakers, non-Japanese people there that could build this out. And it's a bigger market anyway. Like the global market is bigger anyway. So if you can succeed in the global market, then who cares about Ikehaya? He doesn't matter if you're playing in the global market.
I mean, everything Ikehaya touches turns into gold, and that's for sure. But for the bigger company, for the legal purposes, they
Yeah,
cannot be associated with them. That's the
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the that's the constraint that they're facing. Like they're great. They are really great in what they do, but
yeah,
they
absolutely.
can't do anything with the bigger company because of the characteristic of like his his strategy basically.
Hmm.
So the Sony's coming in, but they can't do, or like Toei's coming in, but they can't do anything with CNP for that reason.
Hmm.
Like
Right, right, right.
yeah. So that's why like I feel like Ikehaya is like building his own brand and
Oh, he is. He is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He is,
yeah.
and like we said, he's in Japan. He's the king, and now he's trying to reach out to the world so that more and more people around the world know, CMP or all the stuff that he does. And we'll see how it goes. Like I mean, I've said it many times. He built the Japanese NFT market as we have it today. Like
Mm,
he is the reason that so many artists got into the space. He is the reason that so many people even got interested in NFTs in the first place. He helped so many people, and the space grew so much because of him.
mm,
But NFTs can't be just him, right?
yeah,
There has to be more to it,
yeah,
and there's so many other things that can happen, and so many other ideas that can happen. So
yeah,
I welcome other big competitors in the
yeah,
space.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's good,
Hmm.
great for the space, and I'm really looking forward to
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's DenDekaDen. Looking forward. Wish I had gotten in. I did enter the raffle for the whitelist for the first one.
Ah
I didn't
man,
win. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. One of the spam down member from DenDekaDen,
yeah,
his girlfriend of mine, and he shielded to me, and I checked out the community like right before the launch, and I didn't think
uh-huh.
anything of it. Like NFT is all about the community, but when I looked at the community, it wasn't really all that. But
Yeah,
next thing you know, they mint it for free, and the floor flew to like 1 ETH. I'm like, holy moly! I was like thinking it's gonna be like point 0.3 or 0.25 at the most, or 0.25 to point 0.3,
yeah, yeah,
and then yeah, then they release the
yeah.
information. Okay, this project is actually affiliated with Toei. I'm like, holy moly! Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, we talked about DenDekaDen really early because you told me about it,
Mm.
and you said like, oh, somebody told you about it in the Discord, and
Ah.
like this was before DenDekaDen even had a Discord, or they I don't think they had opened their Discord yet, and we talked about it on this show like maybe early December.
Yeah.
Um, and we just like, oh, the people are talking about DenDekaDen, and supposedly there's a Web2 company involved. We don't know anything about it. Like, there's no information,
Mm.
but you might want to pay attention to it. I think that's basically what we said. And I followed it, but I didn't really pay attention to it in a serious way because I just didn't know. There was nothing you could do. Like, there was no Discord at the time anyway, right? So like, it's not like I could even get in.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
yeah, it's a small collection, only like 700 or something. So that's just how it is. I think good move, right? Like especially right now where the market is a little bit slow in Japan.
Mm.
Starting small is I think a very good move.
I think so. I agree, especially with the free mint.
Yeah,
That's like excellent strategy.
yeah, yep, exactly, exactly. So yeah, so looking forward to that. I don't know if I can get into the PFP collection, I'd probably be happy to get into that.
Mm.
But we'll see. I don't know if that somebody will be kind enough to give me a whitelist.
Oh, Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we'll see.
There's gonna be a
Yeah.
whitelist for DenDekaDen.
Because in April they're planning in April that they're gonna be able to
Hmm.
they're gonna mint the PFP project.
Okay, let me pull some string.
Okay, yeah, go ask around, see if you can do something. Because yeah, the plan is in April. That was always the plan, right? Like in the spring, they would release the second collection, which is the PFP collection. I don't know how big that's going to be, and they're timing their big events like in relation to Japanese holidays. So that's why the first one was on New Year's. The New Year's omikuji, the fortune, drawing that
Mm.
happens in New Year's when you go to the temple on New Year's, and then they had a what's that called? The uchiwa, Oniwa Soto Fukauchi, what's that called?
Setsubun?
The Setsubun,
Mm.
the Setsubun, which was a couple days ago. They had an event for that.
Mm.
No NFT, just an event. And then I think they're timing their PFP for Hanami, which is the cherry blossom season.
Yeah, like right before
So,
the tax season ends. I mean, yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I believe they're planning that for April.
Mm.
That's what I heard yesterday, and I mean that's going to be bigger than the current 700. I don't know how, but I imagine that those people are going to get to mint whatever amount, and then there will be some extra whitelist for other people, for new people to get in. So
Mhm, mhm,
and there's 7 characters, and they're all kind of fighting to I guess be the most popular,
mhm.
something like that. So they're doing a good job at keeping the community engaged. It seems people are doing art and all that, and that's pretty important.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, so that's basically DenDekaDen. That's all. That's kind of all I have on that. But we can get back to that thing that you mentioned, which I wanted to discuss. What's going to happen in Japan post March, and I say this because
Mm.
so for example, end of February we have Crypto Ninja World coming out.
Mhm.
So I was thinking that might be a little bit of an event that might get people buying again, that might get people excited again.
Mm.
But I'm also it's kind of weird because they've never done a big whitelist system like this where it's like Neostacky people get in,
Mm.
Tokyo Alternative Girls people get in, Crypto Ninja Partners people get in. And I think, oh yeah, Ikehaya Pass people. I think some people. I think there's one other project that gets whitelist
Mm.
for Crypto Ninja World. So this is a bit different from very different from Live Like a Cat, where it was all handpicked. Basically, if you have the right NFT, you're going to get to mint Crypto Ninja World. Uh, so I don't know. Maybe it does immediate one ETH like some of the other projects, or maybe it doesn't do that well because they're not really being so careful with the whitelist. I don't know. I really don't know. Like it's so tough to say. But um, that's their next. That's the whole Crypto Ninja thing. That's their next big project that's coming out at the end of February.
Mm.
Um, we'll see what happens with that, and then March has a few. Uh, Sorry, I got a DM that is not relevant to this. Sorry. Then March, there's going to be a few kind of notable projects. It looks like Roars, the second collection of NTP, Neo Tokyo Punks, is coming out. I think there might be one or two other ones, but then the big one is the Mafia Animals, which is supposedly at the end of March, I think.
In March for sure.
Yeah. And the Mafia Animals is like the next anticipated one. I think this one is more anticipated than Crypto Ninja World, honestly, because people have been aware of it for a longer time.
Mm.
Um, and the Mafia Animals is by the artist that did the original Crypto Ninja with Ikehaya. They're the two guys that built that together, Ritsu,
Yeah.
and he's his stuff, his Genesis collection. Like I've seen sales for like 15, 16 ETH. So yeah, people are anticipating this one very, very highly, and they've been, they opened the Discord, like months ago, I think. So it's been going on for a while. So I think there's a good potential that the Mafia Animals will do well. Just very low volume, like high floor price immediately. But the thing that you mentioned and I kind of agreed with is what's going to happen after March with all these like Crypto Ninja connected projects, right? Like I don't know of any other big Crypto Ninja projects coming out after March. Can you think of anything? No, right?
Oh, Yeah, they have built the big community, right? Big
Yeah,
connection. So I I have no idea what they're building.
yeah.
I mean, what their plan is after the TMA. To be honest,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, they haven't really talked about it as far as I know. I don't keep up to date with everything, but
Mm.
like I mean, right now the two focuses are Crypto Ninja World and the Mafia Animals. So
Yeah, the people from where is it? Nigeria is
yeah,
farming whitelists.
yeah.
It's crazy. And the supply is gonna be like 20,000, right?
Which one, Mafia
Mm,
Animals?
no?
I don't remember actually. But wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they like 20,000. Mafia Animals. What's it? Live Like a Cat and CMP both 20,000.
Yeah, it's gonna be very close to like a LLC. Like they're gonna have 20,000 supply, and they just gonna like mint by phases. Like they only gonna release certain amount. Like at
Uh
the
huh.
time, just like a LLAC. I think that's an excellent
Oh.
strategy.
Hmm.
Mm,
So they're gonna keep a bunch. They're only gonna sell a small portion, and then they'll keep selling little by little moving forward.
mhm.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, hell, that's definitely much more feasible than trying to sell 20,000 and hoping that you can get, like some crazy floor price.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's very smart,
yeah.
right? Mm.
Yeah. It's better, and they like the big numbers, right? Because when people see like, oh my God, LLAC is a 22,000 collection, and it's got like a 2.6 ETH floor. Most people just see the floor price and that's it. But the reality is that there's 65% of the supply that has not been sold. So they're nice big numbers that look nice, but if you don't look into it, it gives you a better impression than the reality. But that's it. It's a solid strategy. It works. I mean, it is what it is. But you should be aware of that. If you plan to buy anything of this, that there are big supplies locked up. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen after the Mafia Animals. They always are working on something. Like that whole group, they've always got something coming out. So I'm sure they'll have more announcements and more stuff. But that's kind of the next big thing, and maybe they don't want to take away attention from that right now. They don't want to do too much at the same time. But Ikehaya is already doing so many things at the same time that you go like, really, like, dude, like focus on less.
I mean, he's a legend, like
No, he really is, man. His work ethic, like he's doing Voicey every day. His show, he does spaces like regularly, and he's involved with so many projects and tweeting. And that man, like say whatever you want about him, but damn, he works hard. He works freaking hard.
yeah,
Like
yeah. He's
just respect for that.
yeah, same likewise. Like he's good at what he
Yeah,
does. But yeah, but yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, again, like we want diversity in the Japanese market. I mean, that's just better for the market in general. So uh, that's I think a lot of people in even Japanese people. I think many feel like the Japanese space needs a clear second place, a clear third place. Other competitors that are doing things a little bit differently because that's more opportunities for more people, and that's more people get in and they have a good time, and they're in a different project, and they help that out. Whereas it's just so difficult to get into the CMP system. You can buy 2 ETH if you want, if you have 2 ETH, but that's already like kind of a high risk thing. So it's just trickier. So more opportunities for everybody. That's basically the message that we like to repeat.
Mm.
So if anybody wants to come up, if you have any questions, happy to have you come up. We that's basically the main topics that I wanted to cover on the show. I see Neil is here from Neko Alliance. That's the space that I mentioned yesterday, where
Oh,
I talked to the creator of DenDekaDen. Ryan is here. He's one of the regulars. Thank you so much, Ryan. I know Soul as well. A lot of the regulars. Azuki, thank you, Azuki, for coming. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. So if we don't have any requests, then I don't know, like Crypto, do you have anything else you want to add? Any other thoughts? Anything else you wanted to mention?
like Super Bowl is coming, right? You know what that means, right?
Oh, free mint.
Free mint, yeah. I mean, yeah. Are you feeling bullish on the DigiDaigaku? ecosystem?
So, all right. So for anybody that doesn't know, the Super Bowl, they have their the Limit Break, which is the company by Gabriel Layden who launched DenDekaDen. They're doing the big free mint Super Bowl commercial, and it's going to be a 10,000 piece collection. But I've heard him say that even if you don't get to mint one of the 10,000, you're going to get something. So I don't know, like some other extra thing, I guess. But yeah, look, I think that this isn't Japan related, but at least DenDekaDen is like anime style, so I will allow the conversation. So, so because it's such, it's if you looked at the art, you go like, is this a Japanese project? Like,
Yeah,
because it's
lovely,
the
yeah.
cute anime girls. Yeah. But so I think Gabe Layden has developed an incredible following. People are really, really, they like him. People really respect him. He is a successful guy. He had this 10, 11 years, this game company that he ran for 10, 11 years, successful exit, I believe, probably got bought out for, some crazy amount of money. I confirm that, please, but I think that's the case. And then he managed to get $200 million funding for, this whole thing that he's building now in Web3. His whole approach is getting people, to participate via free NFTs and then, monetizing later. I think that is basically the way to go for many cases. That's kind of what we see in online games already, right? It's like, you can get your skins and whatever, and many of them are cheap or free. But if you want to flex, if you want to get the super fancy, thing, then you got to pay. And, we've seen this happen, 10, 15, 20 years already in online games. So it's kind of something like that where, it's like if you want to pay to get more of something, you can. But if you want to participate, you can do it for free. And so I think overall, yeah, DenDekaDen, I think they're solid. They're going to keep on building, and something's probably good is going to happen there. I have no idea what's going to happen with the short-term price action with this new collection or the other that they just released villains recently. I don't know. I can't tell you to buy or sell or whatever. But I think that there are a few people in the space in the world that have as much impact as Gabe Layden does at the moment.
He's number one.
Yeah, he's really, really pushing things forward, and I mean, come on, like a Super Bowl commercial for an NFT like that. Who else is doing that? Like nobody else can.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Yuga could do that, I guess, but basically only the top people that have millions and millions of dollars in funding can even consider doing that. So yeah, like overall, I think that they're going to build something. They're not just going to disappear, right?
yeah. I mean, he has everything planned, bro. Like their end goal, or I mean, the short-term goal is to build the game and to bring in the Web2 people and the money from the Web2 into the Web3.
Yeah.
And the rumor
exactly.
is on the Super Bowl day, they're going to release some information regarding that. I hear the game is ready.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, because I mean that makes total sense. Why would you spend $7 million, $8 million in a commercial if you couldn't make people act immediately?
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to spend $7-8 million and tell them the game comes out in 6 months. But if the game is ready and now you tell them play the game now, and that makes a lot of sense.
What if you have to play the game to get the dragon?
It's possible. That makes total sense.
Like
that's a really good idea.
Like, yeah, he is like man of word, right? I mean, he plans everything ahead of time. Like he plans the content for the Twitter for next 6 months, week by week. He has everything figured out.
Yep. I mean, and I'm not the first to say it, but there's so many game companies that go out of business, very quickly. It's a big thing to run a successful game company for 10, 11 years. So he's used to doing this kind of thing and building something from zero and turning it into a successful company. So I think he's one of the people with the most potential for success in terms of funding, in terms of experience, in terms of his overall influence on the space and his willingness to try something different instead of just like, okay, 10,000, now 20,000 collection. Now we're doing metaverse, instead of the same Bored Ape model, he's competing in a whole different, arena. He's not competing with Bored Apes. He's doing something else.
Yeah. Like every time like Bored Ape or Meme Land release something new, the floor, and dilute. I mean, it dilutes the like their money, right? Basically, and
Hmm.
they mess up some.
Yeah.
They always mess up something like have it be like a gas, like people overpay for the gas price,
Right.
or the like for the meme land, like so, people sold the potatoes after the screenshots, and
Yep.
they announced it like, hey, you have to have potatoes in your wallet, and the people kind of got really pissed about that. Like, yeah, people pay
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
6 ETH for the whitelist for captains, and the captain's floor price started off at like a 5 or 6 ETH, right? So the
Yep.
expectation was the captain would hit like 10 ETH and make money off of it, but everything didn't go according to the plan. And there's some rumors that the same team made a bunch of projects, and like they didn't really like tell people
Yeah.
about it.
But
So
that's
it's like a vagabond all over again.
yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing about the like super expensive, NFT market where your expectations get so high, right? Where it's like it's almost impossible not to disappoint.
Like, yeah, people pay 3 ETH for potatoes, and you have to have a three potatoes to mean captain, right? So
Yeah.
your expectation is
Yeah.
okay, the captain's gonna be like 10 ETH, and next thing you
Yeah.
know, you're only getting 5 or 6 ETH. Like, oh, where's my money?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's just the natural market. It is what it is. And but that's the problem. Well, I mean, that's the feature. I mean, some people really like that because that creates those opportunities for trading. We all take advantage of that
Yeah,
sometimes,
that was a
but that's
narration.
also a really
Yeah,
right. I mean, but that's also a really risky environment, and that's not going to bring in the general public. People don't want to, what I'm paying like $20,000 for 3 potatoes in order to get this thing called a captain, which is going to make me lose. Like, tell your mom, like, explain that to your mom. Like, she doesn't want to get it.
explain to your mom. Yeah. I'm sorry, mom. I was exit liquidity for rich.
Exit liquidity. Yeah.
Oh my
I bought too many potatoes.
god. Oh gee.
But here's the thing though, like, okay, now if you want like Gabe Layden, right? Like, okay, free mint. If you get in, you get a free mint, whatever. But even if you don't, you still get to play the game, and then maybe you can, get something later, right? So it's like there's little to no risk for people getting in, and then later on, if you want to, jump in later, that's your problem, right? But if you get in early and you play the game and you're able to level up or whatever, maybe there's opportunities there for new people that they just want to play a little game and they don't want to think about, oh my god, I'm going to spend $10,000 on this.
Yeah, the yeah. So like if you want to get in, like the lowest risk would be like grabbing one of those mass villains. I think
Hmm.
the price is like only 0.25 to point 0.3, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
That's very affordable.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
compared to like 8 ETH or whatever for DenDekaDen.
Yeah, people are saying it's undervalued, honestly, but it's not financial advice. But
Yeah,
people are just making speculation. Okay, is everything priced in, or you know, what's the effect of
yeah,
Web 2 people coming into the Web 3? They don't know how to sell. All they do is just buy, buy, buy.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. That's the thing. Like, I mean, we don't exactly know what all the pieces are going to do in the DenDekaDen system, so it's so tough to price everything
Mm.
at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes that's a really good opportunity, and sometimes you end up realizing I paid too many. I bought too many potatoes. That's what happens again, right?
Yeah, but I feel really bullish on this Daigaku ecosystem, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I overall I agree. Again, I can't say anything about the price, but overall, I mean, this seems like one of the strongest people and companies behind building something in the space. So it's definitely something we should pay attention to in general. But yeah, that's basically it. I know that wasn't directly Japan connected, but interesting nonetheless because we're seeing. I think in order to understand some of the stuff that will happen in Japan, you need to kind of see what is already happening or has happened in the global market because a lot of the trends that we see in the global market come to Japan like months later.
Mm.
Like this manifold open edition thing started in Japan a
Mm.
little bit after it started in the global market.
Yeah.
These
Mm.
free mints, we already saw it happen like months ago in the global market. Like a lot of Japanese projects just look to the global market and they start doing it a few months later. So it really helps to have an awareness of what's being built in the global market, and then you see it. Oh, look, something similar in Japan. It's a very common thing.
Mm.
And that's that. We'll finish it up. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. Like I said, I do this show usually Wednesdays Japan time, Tuesdays U.S. time. I also do another space, which is a bilingual Japanese and English space, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Japan time. And that's a very fun show. It's a very loose format. Like Japanese creators will come, they talk about their stuff. We talk about whatever's going on. Sometimes we don't even talk about NFTs. Sometimes we talk about gyoza and I don't know, like language learning, just random stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very loose, very fun, very positive, nice space.
Mm.
Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Japan time.
All right.
Yeah. And go check out Zielchain to see what crypto is working on. That's at ZIELCHAIN. So go check that out. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everybody.